Merry Christmas with the VHS era. Joining me today is Lowell Renold.
Good morning and happy Mariah Carey Day.
Now, uh, now today we are covering the Santa Claus, well, is VHS opening, but I think you know by now we're not actually talking about the movie. Though I guess I'll turn this into a mini Everyone's a Critic because Lowell, what is your relationship with the Santa Claus?
Well, this was this movie's really close to my heart because I it came out 1 year before I was born. So like the VHS is one of the first tapes I ever watched, I remember. And I watched it every Christmas. My mom, may she rest in peace, loved this movie. She would quote it not just during Christmas, she would quote it all year round. And so every time I watch this movie now, I'm gonna think of her. And yeah, it's one of my favorites. I mean, I think it's really funny and also very heartfelt.
Uh,
And I think it's one of Tim Allen's best roles.
yeah, well, I'm sorry, but not a particular fan of this movie.
Uh?
Yeah, I feel awkward knowing that it drew you and your mom close together. I don't know. I just find the plot too contrived for me. I
I
just
mean,
can't. Yeah,
it is a 90s Disney movie, so yeah, it's definitely contrived.
I don't know.
And
I just can't get past the fact that he just can't think, hey, I don't want to be in this position, but look at me cutting this beard. Now look, it just grew back right now.
well, that's the whole point is it doesn't matter if you want it or not. You're stuck with the job. I mean,
Yeah.
if you
No,
don't want it, then don't cause Santa to fall off the roof and die.
I understand that. What I don't understand is why Tim Allen doesn't use the magical forces forcing him to be Santa to prove to the people who keep telling him to stop quote unquote
Well,
pretending to be
that's
Santa.
because they didn't tell him about the escape clause. Like that, he
I,
finds out about that in like two movies.
I didn't see that one, but no, I'm talking about Judge Reinhold and his ex-wife.
Oh yeah.
They're like throughout the movie going, "Stop telling Charlie that you're Santa." And I'm like thinking, and I just can't help but think, why doesn't he just use, why doesn't he just go, "Hey, reindeer," and then the reindeer come and it's like, "Now do you believe I'm Santa?"
I gotta say that is a trope that's always frustrated me, not just in this movie, but in fantasy movies in general, when the main character like has this magical thing happening and they're trying to convince everyone and like they have the means to prove it, Like I think another example I could think of is like Night at the Museum when Ben Stiller tells his girlfriend, "Oh, everything in the museum comes to life." And she's like, "Oh, you're making fun of me because I'm a history nerd." And like he could have just said, "Wait until the museum closes. Just trust me."
You're right. It's not the only movie that does that. And I don't know. I guess personally, I just find Miracle on 34th Street did this type of movie better.
Oh
And
yeah.
I saw that movie
That's
as an
classic.
adult, so it's
Yeah, that's
nostalgia.
probably it. Like I saw it when I like I said, this movie was one of the first movies I ever watched as a baby, so it's ingrained in my mind. So it's a lot harder for me to be critical of it. Whereas I think if I saw it now, I'd be like, yeah, that's cute, but there's a lot of plot holes and a lot of contrivances. And you know, this movie, I mentioned it's a 90s Disney movie. I don't know if you noticed this, but a lot of kids movies in the 90s dealt with divorce. Like Liar Liar, um, and there was another one. I think you know what I'm talking about.
Mrs. Doubtfire, of
Oh
course.
yeah, Mrs. Doubtfire.
Yeah, yeah, divorce or
Or
or daddy issues.
overworked the
Yeah.
workaholic dad. Like
Yeah.
that was a big thing in the 90s apparently.
Yeah. I'm I noticed and not to call out any Hollywood screenwriter in particular, but Jonathan Roberts is a screenwriter from the 90s who wrote a lot of 90s family movies, mostly
Hmm.
with Disney, but he also wrote Jack Frost.
Hmm.
But like his au revoir back to back is The Lion King, The Hunchback of Notre Dame, and Jack Frost. And I can't think, is this guy using family movies to work out his own daddy issues?
I mean, it's possible, you know. I mean, a lot of filmmakers do that. I mean, look at Tim Burton. I mean, he makes movies instead of going to therapy. You know, like that's what Hollywood is. It's a bunch of people who would rather make art than go to therapy.
Yeah, actually, Tim Burton's another good example. Always putting daddy issue movies. There's always some sort of daddy issue in
Oh
it.
my God, yes. Like his remake of Willy Wonka literally stopped and became a therapy session. Literally. Like Willy's getting therapy from an Oompa Loompa. Like that was Tim Burton just being like. And by the way, I watched last week when I was giving platelets, I watched Edward Scissorhands for the first time. Weird movie. And I know it might be going off topic a little bit, but so the scientist in that movie is like building a human being from scratch, but he forgets to make hands, so he makes these scissors as placeholders. Why would he make scissors for placeholders for hands? You know, why not toothbrushes or something less dangerous? Why scissors, you know? But that's another movie entirely.
Yeah, actually, you're right. That doesn't make sense. And I actually rewatched that recently and thought it held up. But you're right, that part it doesn't. Maybe it was just what was lying around. I don't know. Give the Santa Claus credit for is that it did help boost the career of national treasure David Krumholtz.
Hmm.
Like I like Adam's Family Values was kind of like his first big movie, but Santa Claus, you know, really put him up there. And anytime he's one of those actors, anytime he just pops up in a movie, I act like Lucille Bluth to Gene Parmesan.
Oh, is it?
It's like, oh my God,
Yeah.
it's him again.
And he was great in Oppenheimer.
You drop a bomb and it falls on the just and the unjust. I don't wish the culmination of 3 centuries of physics to be a weapon of mass destruction.
Yes, he was.
He was Isidore Rabi.
Yeah, he's a really good, underrated character actor.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's like this is a guy like anytime you're in his I on his IMDb, like you're like, wait, he was in that and that and that. Like he was in Superbad as like one of the party goers when they crashed like the 20 something guys party to steal beer from them. Like,
Oh my.
yeah, did you remember he was?
I rewatched Superbad like a couple months ago on a plane and I didn't remember he was in that. I didn't recognize him. But I also remember he was in 10 Things I Hate About You as Joseph Gordon-Levitt's friend. You've seen that movie, right?
Oh, you mean yeah, yes, I have.
Yeah, Heath Ledger was in it, Julia Stiles.
Yeah, he was also in Walk Hard. He was one of the agents, I believe.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so at least we've got the Santa Claus to thank the world for introducing David Krumholtz.
Oh yeah.
Nothing
And
else.
you know, I would like to add something. You keep talking about how it's hard for you to suspend your disbelief watching this movie. There is one thing about this movie that has always bothered me since I was a baby. And It's how Charlie's parents, or his mom and his stepdad, the scene when they're at court, getting a restraining order from Scott Calvin, and the mom and the stepdad, played by Judge Reinhold, they're talking about when they stopped believing in Santa. And the mom says she was Charlie's age, she wanted a mystery date game, and she wrote Santa for weeks, I want a mystery date game, and she got tons of presents, but no mystery date game. And Judge Reinhold said, I was 3, I wanted a weenie whistle, but then Santa came and no weenie whistle. And then, of course, at the end, Scott Calvin as Santa, he gives them what they want, the mystery date game and the weenie whistle. But my question has always been, so if this is like a lineage of Santa Clauses, why didn't that Santa give them what they wanted? Like, were they naughty that year? Did Santa's elves like not know how to make a weenie whistle or a mystery date game? Like, is that why Scott Calvin was chosen? Because he works at a toy company? They're like, okay, he's more up to date with what kids want or something. And okay, here's what bothers me. And this isn't just in the Santa Claus, but this is in every Christmas movie where Santa's real. Why don't the adults believe in Santa? Like, in Elf, Buddy the Elf is like, where do they think the presents come from? I'm like, exactly. Like, where do the parents think in those movies? Where do they think the presents come from? Like,
Yeah, yeah, that bothers me too. Honestly, even Miracle on 34th Street has that problem. I think weirdly the one time they did this trope where it made the most sense was Family Guy of all things, because in that
because
show
the adults in that believed in Santa.
the adults and the kids believe in Santa, and it's only Brian who doesn't believe in Santa. And it's like, yeah, of course, he's a
But
pompous ass. Of course, he wouldn't question that.
and Brian is an atheist, even though they had Jesus over at their house doing miracles
Yeah,
at
like,
the table.
yeah, he doesn't care about proof. He just cares about being right. So
Yeah,
of course it makes
he's a
sense.
smug liberal douchebag. He always has to be like the smart one in the room, the one.
Yeah, yeah, but I will also say, actually, well, I'm guessing maybe they were naughty, but they got presents anyway. Honestly, I guess I didn't really think of it that way. My only thought was, Judge Reinhold, you're nearly 40 and you're still holding a grudge for something that happened when you were 3. And you're like literally getting this guy to be not to get any visitation rights taken away from his child and have him arrested over it for something that nearly happened for something that happened when you were 3.
I mean, okay, to look at it from his perspective and from the mom's perspective, from their perspective, it does look like Scott Calvin is manipulating Charlie. Like he's growing a beard, growing a belly, dressed in red. Like from their perspective, it looks like he's trying to manipulate Charlie and give in to his delusions. But of course, we, the audience, because we follow Scott Calvin, we know it's not his fault. It's a bunch of magical bullshit happening. Like he can't shave the beard. It's like he can't control getting what, like from Scott Calvin's perspective, this is just beyond his control. But from their perspective, they're like, okay, this guy's crazy. Like this guy's a psychopath. He's trying to take Charlie from us. We got to do something. But even then, I think they were acting overboard. Like to take, like I agree with the mom, taking away his visitation rights. Like, yeah, you're right. Maybe it is because Judge Reinhold was holding a grudge for not getting a Oscar Mayer weenie whistle of all damn things.
But yeah, even though we have differing opinions on the movie, I
Mhm.
do have to want let's look at the VHS opening and see if
Oh,
we
this
have
is gonna bring me back.
yes.
Every VHS tape, I had to watch the trailers. I had to watch I don't know why. Like everybody would fast forward them. I'd be like, no, I want to watch them. And I guess I was right because it's like a time capsule.
Well, yeah, we're gonna watch the VHS trailers and I'll see if I agree if what our opinions are.
Hello?
Gilly, it's time to get up.
It's Goofy! Come on, let's go! Jasmine, hi! I saw your movie 3 times!
Well, I guess you've seen just about everybody.
I've been waiting my whole life to meet you.
There's never been a better time to make the dream come true.
That brings me back.
Yeah. Personally, I find it a little too cutesy, but then I realize I'm not necessarily the target demographic for this commercial.
Really? You found a commercial about kids going to Walt Disney World too cutesy? Like,
Yeah. Yeah, but again, from a marketing perspective, I think this commercial works on a kid and adult level,
I mean,
and parent
it
level.
it made me and my sister want to go to Walt Disney World, so it worked. It accomplished its goal.
Yeah, like for the kids, it's like, hey kids, here you go. You get to see all your favorite characters up close. For the parents, it's like, look, your kid's gonna have a fun time.
Hmm.
So take them to Disney World. I don't know if they really were thinking of Disney adults back in the mid 90s for this
Well,
commercial.
Disney adults didn't exist in the 90s
Well,
because in the 90s, people forget this, but the 90s, like the world wasn't falling apart like it is now. Like adults could afford to have kids, adults could afford to have a house and all this stuff. But Disney adults are basically millennials who grew up under the Bush presidency in the aftermath of 9/11, the Iraq War, the housing crisis, the stock market crash, and then we had Trump and then COVID. So Disney adults are millennials who are traumatized, who had the world stolen from them before they even had a chance to really experience it. So we go to Disneyland and we watch Disney movies and make Disney movies a personality to cope with it. It's like,
yeah, well, all I'm saying is that there were definitely adult Disney fans back in the
yeah, but they weren't like they are now,
yeah.
where they will make cosplay. They know all the lines to all the songs and the characters, and they know all the behind the scenes trivia. Like in the 90s, it was still like you know what? I think in the 90s there wasn't really a lot of I mean there was fandom in the 90s, but it wasn't mainstream like it is now. Like in the 90s, for example, Marvel was going bankrupt. Like back in the 90s, like DC was like when people thought of superheroes, they thought of it was just Batman. Batman was the only game in town. Whereas every other like there wasn't really fandom like it is now. You know, like fandom like Disney, and this was in the 90s. Disney wasn't the media conglomerate that it is today, where they own Star Wars, Marvel, all these big geek properties. Like in the 90s, Disney was still family friendly. Like it was mostly geared towards families.
Yeah, and that's why this commercial is definitely geared first and foremost towards families. Now, I can look at this and be cynical and think, okay, I'm not a parent. Um, I don't, I'm not a parent, so this doesn't really target me specifically, and I'm not a little kid, but that's fine. It's
Yeah.
it works it's effective for its target demographic.
Sergeant?
Yes, sir.
Establish a recon post downstairs.
Code Red, repeat. We are at Code Red. Recon Plan Charlie, execute. Move, 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 move! It's a
big one.
Walt Disney Pictures presents a totally new animated motion picture event.
Star Command, come in. Do you read me?
The story of two toys.
There seems to be no sign of intelligent life anywhere.
Hello?
Oh, yeah!
Headed for a showdown.
My name is Woody. This is my spot.
I am Buzz Lightyear. I come in peace.
You are a child's plaything!
You are a sad, strange little man.
And playing by their own rules.
Draw! Got me again!
I don't like confrontations.
Buzz, look, an alien!
Where? You're mocking me, aren't you?
Oh, impressive wingspan. Very good.
Oh, what? What? He can't fly.
Yes, I can.
Can't. Can't!
This holiday season, the adventure takes off when toys come to life.
To infinity and beyond!
Toy Story.
Look out! Can.
So you got a Tim Allen movie, a commercial for a Tim Allen movie, and a VHS for a Tim Allen movie.
And not only that, but it was it kick-started the franchise that led to the 3 of 4 good Tim Allen movies on his resume. First 3 Toy Story movies and Galaxy Quest.
You know, it's funny. Like this commercial, like it's crazy to think that that's what I'm talking about when I say time capsule, because Toy Story was the first ever computer animated movie. It didn't just start the Toy Story franchise. It started Pixar. It started a whole new animation industry, like a whole new type of animation. It changed Hollywood. Like it's kind of like Star Wars, where it's like there's movies before and movies after. It's like as a kid, you know, again, I was a baby, so I didn't really grasp how huge this was. I was just like, oh, cool, talking toys. But for my parents and for adults watching this, they were like, what? Wow, what is this? I've never seen anything like this. Like, are they really making a computer animated movie? Like, how is this gonna work? You know, and like it was the same with Snow White in 1937. Like adults were like, "Really? They're making a cartoon into a movie? Like, how is that gonna work?"
Yeah, as someone who was like a toddler when this movie came out, but grew up like more so like with Bugs Life, the
Mhm.
Toy Story 2, just sort of the rise of Pixar in general and the rise of DreamWorks. Like I was sort of more aware and more privy to computer animation's takeover of the
Mm.
industry, especially with 2D animation. And what's really funny is not in this trailer, but just if you look at the marketing for the first Toy Story, they really do kind of highlight like Tim Allen and Tom Hanks
Mhm.
uh in the credits, because it's like they didn't know if computer generated animation was gonna work
Right.
out.
So
So
they used two of the biggest stars to market it. They used Tom Hanks, who had just won an Oscar, 2 Oscars in a row for Forrest Gump and Philadelphia. So you had the biggest movie star, and then you had Tim Allen, who had Home Improvement, the biggest TV star. You had the biggest movie star, the biggest TV star. Like that was their way of marketing this. Like, listen to these two voices you recognize. And that's another thing this movie started, along with like Aladdin started it earlier, where animated movies started casting A-list celebrities to market their movies.
well, I'm not sure it like started it. I mean, because like there's like examples like across the board even before then. Like 30 years before Aladdin, there was Judy Garland and Robert Goulet and Gay Pierre. It definitely made it popular. It was more of a it was more of a how you say it was a more of an infrequent thing. And it was also like they were casting more sort of B-list celebrities beforehand. Like
Right.
people who were known but weren't like the
Like
biggest
it
stars up
was
front.
typically stage actors. It was
Yeah.
like or people on Broadway or not really like movie stars like Tom Cruise.
Yeah, that's pretty much the biggest difference from like beforehand. But yeah, but even with that all being said, when it comes to the quality of this trailer by itself, it does a fairly decent job capturing what makes Toy Story charming. It's very Woody and Buzz focused. You barely see more of the other characters, but it works. Just sort of selling these two and saying, "Hey, you'll see a whole movie with these two. If so, uh, you're gonna have a lot of fun." And
Hmm.
it's got a nice succession of lines. Like, of course, it doesn't show everything, but it
It just
shows enough
shows
to
you
sell
enough.
it.
Like it doesn't show the whole plot. It doesn't even show the humans. I mean, which makes sense because the humans look hideous in the
Ye-
hu-
Yeah, that is one thing about early computer generated animation. They weren't always good at animating humans. Like people
well,
are people are always wondering why the Ice Age movies got rid of the humans after the first movie, and it's like, there's a reason the Ice Age baby was a meme for how ugly he was for a bit.
yeah, because they didn't know how to animate. Like it's not that they didn't know, they just didn't have the technology to animate. That's why the first Toy Story was the first ever computer animated movie because the animators thought the humans look plastic. So why don't we just make a movie about plastic people, toys, you know?
Yeah, like there's actually one scene where, like, if you look at the at Andy's friends, it's like one black kid and like three or four other Andys.
Like Andy's clones.
Yeah, I didn't even realize that until somebody pointed it out.
And by the way, did you see the Lightyear movie, the Chris Evans Lightyear
I
movie?
have not seen that, no.
Well, apparently the movie opens with in 1995, Andy saw a movie that made him want a Buzz Lightyear toy. This is that movie. And if you see the movie, you're like, there's no way this movie came out in 1995. And there's no way this would make a kid want a Buzz Lightyear toy because Buzz in that movie is kind of boring. Like if anything, it makes me want a cat toy. Like I would think a kid want the cat, whatever the cat's name is, but you know what I'm talking about. It's like but that's a totally different movie.
Uh, yeah, but yeah, it was a fun trailer that kind of kickstarted a movie that changed Hollywood forever.
Mm-hmm.
Walt Disney Home Video proudly presents the extraordinary story of an American legend brought to life, Pocahontas. She was the daughter of a chief.
She has her mother's spirit. She goes wherever the wind takes her.
Come down here!
And she lived a life of freedom.
No! Not that way!
Watch out! He was an explorer, searching for adventure in a new land.
Come on, man. We didn't come all this way just to look at it.
But though their worlds were very different,
These pale visitors are strange to us. No one is to go near them.
their destinies were one. From Walt Disney Home Video comes a celebration of the American spirit.
Who are you?
Pocahontas.
Come run the hidden pine trails of the forest. Come taste the sun-sweet berries of the earth.
She believed in her dreams.
Pocoam has asked to seek your hand in marriage.
I think my dream is pointing me down another path.
Followed her heart.
What are you doing here?
I had to see you again.
And found a love that changed the world.
Let the spirits of the earth guide you.
I love him, Father.
Bravo!
In 1996, Disney's all-new 33rd full-length animated motion picture comes to video.
I look once more, just around the river bend, beyond the shore, somewhere past the sea.
With music by Academy Award winner Alan Menken and lyrics by award-winning lyricist Stephen Schwartz.
Can you sing with all the voices of the mountain?
Pocahontas.
Can you paint with all the colors of the wind?
Coming to video in 1996.
Oh my God.
Yeah, now this has weirdly gotta be like the fourth time we've covered something Pocahontas related on VHS era, which is odd. The Colors of the Wind sequence was on the Lion King VHS. Pocahontas 2 was on the Little Mermaid VHS. The Pocahontas point and click game was on the Goofy Movie VHS.
Oh yeah.
And now I've got the trailer for the now I've got the trailer.
You know, there's a lot to unpack just with that trailer alone. I mean, we all know the controversy with this movie. I mean, this movie was Disney's attempt at getting another Best Picture nomination. Like Beauty and the Beast being the first animated movie to be nominated for Best Picture, it gave Katzenberg and Disney like a lot of what do you call it when you have a lot of confidence? Hubris, I guess you could say. And they thought, okay, instead of a fairy tale, let's do a real historic figure because the Academy loves historical figures. So let's do Pocahontas. Yeah, a real Native American woman who was a victim of colonization. Let's make her our new Disney princess. And let's have John Smith, the creepy guy who met her when she was 12. Yeah, let's make them a couple. Let's age her up a little. Let's make them a couple. And who's someone we can cast as John Smith? Mel Gibson. He's not controversial. He's not a I mean, okay, in 1995 he probably wasn't controversial like he is now, but
no, the public didn't know about.
Yeah. Trey Parker and Matt Stone clearly knew. They were ahead of the curve.
Yeah, I think there were like rumors here and there that he was like doing stuff like telling Winona Ryder she was a
oven dodger.
Oven dodger.
Because she was Jewish or something, and
yeah. But it was like it wasn't really proven until the mid 2000s.
Right. When he had a little too much to drink.
Yeah, this is, despite all the controversies, this is probably the best you can make Pocahontas look. I mean,
at least for Disney.
Yeah.
And like looking at the trailer, you can see the effort that went into this movie. Like this was a very noble attempt. Like the animation's beautiful, the songs are amazing, like Colors of the Wind. Like they were really trying. They wanted this to be a Best Picture nominee. And this was made at the same time The Lion King was being made. And Katzenberg, when he was still with Disney at the time, he was looking at the two movies. He thought Pocahontas is going to be our next big hit. It's got all the right ingredients. It's got a Romeo and Juliet love story. It's American history. This is going to be our Best Picture. Lion King, what is this? It's like lions doing Hamlet, like with songs by Elton John, like, and there's a farting warthog. Like, yeah, no, this isn't gonna. And everybody at Disney thought Pocahontas was gonna be the bigger movie, and of course, as we all know, the opposite happened. Lion King was and still is the highest grossing 2D Disney animated movie of all time. And Pocahontas, it was a hit at the box office, but it wasn't Lion King big. And it and where Lion King got great reviews, Pocahontas got a mixed response, not just from critics, but from basically audiences in general, especially the Native American community.
Yeah, like I kind of mentioned this in the point and click when we covered the point and click ad because that one had like a little Native American girl playing it, and it kind of
Oh,
felt to me like Disney was kind of aware there would be controversy and was kind of trying
right,
to put like a bow on it by casting a little Native American girl
right.
and saying, well, she doesn't mind this, so why do you
So
mind?
it's fine.
Yeah. And it's
You
like,
know, and it's funny when you compare this to Moana in 2016. Like the the differences could not be more like Pocahontas, I think was mostly made by white people. It was made by progressive white people trying to tell a moving story about Native Americans. Whereas Moana, even though that was directed by John Musker and Ron Clements, two white guys, it still had a lot of help from the Polynesian community, like behind the scenes, like making it accurate to the culture. And not only is Moana a better movie than Pocahontas, but it's also much more respectful to its culture.
yeah, I will say there at the very least, I guess I'll give Pocahontas credit for having a mainly Native American voice cast playing the Native Americans. I will at least give it that, though
One
I
step
will,
forward, two steps back.
yeah, um, I will also, I though I will, which I think is also a response to not only the cult, how people criticized how Middle Easterners were portrayed in Aladdin, but
Oh
like
yeah.
how they didn't even have any Middle Easterners, not even in the voice cast.
The whole voice cast was white.
Yeah.
Like Aladdin. I
The
think
only
Chris Rock, I think Chris Rock mentioned that when he was at the Oscars one time. He was like, voice acting's easy. If you're a white guy, you could be an Arabian prince. If you're a black guy, you could be a donkey and a zebra.
yeah, yeah, I'm pretty sure the only people of color who worked on Aladdin was Peebo Bryson and Regina Bell, and all they did was sing over the end credits. So
You know, I'm not a fan of live action Disney remakes, to put it mildly, but I will say, even though I prefer the 1992 Aladdin by far, I will give the remake credit for at least having an all Middle Eastern cast. Like, if anything, that's like I know I've said many times there's no reason to make a live action remake of Disney. Aladdin, I would say, is an exception. Like, okay, that movie needed better representation. It needed more, like, so I give Aladdin a pass because it has a Middle Eastern cast. It has a Middle Eastern guy playing Aladdin and play a Middle Eastern woman playing Jasmine. Like, that is justified. Like, I'll give it that.
yeah, and but even then, like even though Pocahontas at least did have a Native American cast, I guess I'll also give the Disney live action remake machine that I don't think they're going to touch that movie with a
No.
20-foot pole. In fact, uh,
No, 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 no.
yeah, like it does kind of say something that in like in 2025, like Disney has been promoting Goofy movie like all the
Oh
time
yeah.
for its 30th year anniversary, but
Uh-huh. And
they're
this came
cheap out of Pocahontas. Like,
they both movies came out the same year. And
yeah.
I mentioned how Katzenberg and Disney, they all thought, oh, Pocahontas is going to be huge, Lion King not. I think it was the same with the Goofy movie because they're like, I mean, have you watched the documentary, Not
Oh
Just a
yeah,
Goof?
I have seen that.
Oh yeah, like I mean, it's a fast. If anybody here listening is a fan of a Goofy movie, watch Not Just a Goof on Disney Plus. It's fascinating. And basically in that movie, they were talking about how at the beginning nobody really knew what this movie was going to be. It's like Goofy is a comic relief character. Like He's a goof. Literally, he's goofy. He falls down, he trips, like how can you make a whole movie about that? And their solution was, okay, well, let's make it a personal story. Let's make it a father and son story. And there's so much other trivia of that. But yeah, it's interesting how a Goofy movie, Disney thought, oh, this is just a Goofy movie. It's not going to be Pocahontas, though. That's going to be. And now 30 years later, Disneyland had like a power line. They had the character power line in the parks, and they still played at the El Capitan, and not a single peep for Pocahontas. No, nobody asking any of the actors, "What do you think of Pocahontas 30 years later?" Nope, I don't think anybody wants to. What's Disney gonna do? Interview Mel Gibson about?
Well, I think the most they do with Pocahontas nowadays is sometimes they'll put her on Disney Princess merchandise and
She was in Ralph Breaks the Internet in the
yeah,
princess
exactly.
scene.
They keep her on as a Disney princess, but ignore the rest of the movie.
I mean, when you're a Disney princess, you're a Disney princess for life. Even if your movie is problematic, deeply problematic, you're still part of the Disney princess lineup.
Yeah, it was kind of a similar situation with The Princess and the Frog for the longest
Oh
time.
yeah.
People found the movie as a whole problematic at first,
Hmm.
even before it came out, and
Oh yeah.
like for a long time they keep Tiana on as a Disney princess, but like
Hmm.
not really talk about anything else from that movie. But now it's kind of like they're more bringing more elements from that movie into Disney stuff.
It's funny. Right before I got on this, I saw a meme someone shared in one of the groups, which
I know.
was
Uh,
Disney was so much better at diversity when they weren't trying. And someone pointed out, actually, they were trying even back then. You were just a kid who wasn't
oh God.
brainwashed by 6-hour videos from alcoholics dealing with their divorce, and that's another thing. Like those movies did get pushed back when they came out. Like I
I
know we
know.
like
I'm like, excuse me, if you don't remember the pushback the Princess and the Frog got, you are too young to be commenting on the internet. I'm
exactly. And
sorry.
also, I think people forget this. Princess and the Frog came out 1 year after Obama got elected. So we had our first black president, and then a year later, our first black Disney princess. Racists everywhere were like fuming, and that's what eventually led to Trump. It was Obama and Princess and the Frog.
Yeah, and yeah, but honestly, let's just get on to the next preview because I mean you're
Yeah.
not wrong there.
Yeah, but I don't want to get into that.
But I'm just not really sure.
Yeah, sorry
Uh,
for bringing that up.
no, you're fine. I get political on this channel. Like I mentioned before on the Goofy movie preview, I side-eyed that casting. And I side-eyed the casting in that Pocahontas video game ad, though. I guess, you know what, to bring it back to Pocahontas, I will just say that political or not, when they stopped using fairy tales and started using historical figure, well, not
Hmm.
stopped, but when they were starting to use historical figures in general for
Hmm.
the Disney Renaissance formula, even when Disney wasn't like actually producing those movies, yeah, that's just like a mistake. Like I mentioned my problems with Anastasia, even as a movie,
Mm.
everyone's a critic. And I will say that for the most part, you know, I was just judging it as its own thing. The only thing that really grossed me out was the portrayal of the Russian Revolution in that movie.
Yeah.
But then we've got the Keen and I, the animated movie. And then we've got Titanic, and then we got
Oh,
three Titanic
the rapping
animated.
dog. Which one? The rapping dog one
I,
or the giant octopus one?
I just the idea of a cutesy Disney-esque movie about the Titanic in general. I'm talking about just the idea. It's like Yeah,
Oh,
it was a mistake to try to make Disney-esque musicals about real people. Like,
oh yeah.
even beforehand, like there were always family-friendly musicals about real people, but like The Sound of Music, while it wasn't at all based on what really happened,
Mm-hmm.
even outside of the songs, like take away the songs and it's still a fairly grounded in reality move. It's still a movie that's fairly grounded in reality. Like
Right.
there's no magical villain.
Right.
There's not Maria doesn't have a sassy talking deer sidekick.
No.
It's like those I'm kind of fine. I'm okay with because at least it's like movies about real people that are mostly grounded in reality, but then you have like Pocahontas with a talking tree.
Mm. Oh yeah.
Talking mice on the Titanic with a rapping dog.
Pocahontas had a talking tree and a raccoon before Guardians of the Galaxy.
Well, that's true. Uh,
Oh, I, it's funny. I didn't even mention this movie inspired James Cameron to make Avatar.
well, yeah, I guess. Yeah, kinda. It's an old trope from years back. Again,
Oh yeah, it's the white savior trope.
yeah, but it is sort of like there's just something kind of tasteless using the animated musical Dis formula, especially the one that's trying to ape off of Disney and
Hmm.
trying to put real people like I guess you could say at least it inspires kids to get into history. But can you find other ways to
Yeah,
inspire
like
kids to get into history?
yeah, it would be like if decades from now, if they made an animated musical about 9/11, like nobody needs to see that.
Tim Allen's #1 bestseller, Don't Stand Too Close to a Naked Man, is at a bookstore near you and now available in paperback.
Well, that was the last preview, and it is a weird preview to go on because I mean, you got three ads for family-friendly stuff, stuff that's aimed at kids and their parents first and foremost. And then you have a book aimed solely not just at adults, but boomers who are basically into my wife sucks jokes.
And what a title to advertise to kids watching this. Don't stand too close to a naked man.
Yeah. I mean, it would be like if if Wreck-It Ralph came out on VHS and they promoted a Sarah Silverman comedy special right before the movie.
Yeah, for kids.
Yeah, it's like this is Tim Allen's adult work. Keep it separate from his family-friendly work. I feel like of all companies that should know that, it should be Disney.
My theory is I think they put that in for the parents or for the adults. So like they're thinking, ugh, I don't want to watch this kids movie with my kids. But then this commercial's like, hey, this comedian's done some edgy stuff too, so it's not totally kid friendly.
I mean, I get it, but it's like again, separate it from just, separate it from the kids movie. Again, it would be like if Encanto came out on VHS and there was a promo for Brooklyn Nine-Nine before the movie.
Exactly.
It would be like just such a weird whiplash. Like,
Or no, even worse, Has Been Hotel. Because that also had Stephanie Beatriz in it.
oh
Like,
yeah, that's
it's like, hey kids, you like her in Encanto? Well, you'll love her in Has Been Hotel.
oh, or even worse. Hey, if they had a promo for Moulin Rouge before Encanto.
Oh,
Actually, the weirdest thing about Moulin Rouge, even rewatching it, is how John Leguizamo literally just puts on the Sid the Sloth voice in that movie. So it's like he's making himself look shorter, so he's about the height of Sid the Sloth. So it's like you're basically watching Sid the Sloth at an orgy.
Yeah, it seems today that all you see is violence in movies and sex on TV.
Another example of an awkward attempt at trying to sell a kids movie to adults. But that was the final ad before the Santa Claus. And now it's time for the age-old question. Stay through the previews, skip to the feature. Honestly, all the ads were fine. The Toy Story one was great. Pocahontas is fine as long as you can ignore the controversies surrounding it.
which is which is a challenge.
Yeah, the Disney World ad is fine. Even the Tim Allen one, it's fine. It's just oddly placed.
Yeah, don't stand too close to a naked man. What Disney? Why are you telling kids this? Like,
Yeah.
why?
So I and again, just find the movie too hard to suspend disbelief for, even for a movie about a guy who turns into Santa Claus. So I'll just say stay through the previews, sure.
Hey kids, you ever write a letter to Santa Claus? You ever seen a grown man naked? Leslie Nielsen. For me, okay. Again, this was one of the first ever VHS tapes I ever owned and watched, so these previews give me a lot of nostalgia. So for me, it's a watch the previews, but separating my nostalgia and just looking at it objectively as an adult, I agree with you. It's like they're fine. There's nothing like too offensive except for the last two. Like the first half is totally fine, it's like you have a commercial for Walt Disney World and a commercial for Toy Story. And then the second half is where it gets really awkward, like with Pocahontas, and then don't stand too close to a Nick Tim Allen dirty jokes. But like as a parent, I wouldn't mind watching these previews with it depends on what my kids want. Like if my kids say, "Daddy, just fast forward to the movie," I'll fast forward. But if they want to watch it, I'll watch it with them. And if they have a question about something, I'd love to talk to them and say, Pocahontas was a real person. Why don't we go to the library and read about her or go to a museum? That could be a fun thing we do, like learn about the real history of the person before watching the movie. And with the Tim Allen thing, I would just tell them, I'd probably skip the Tim Allen one, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah. That was just
You know, but then I remembered in the movie, there's a lot of Tim Allen innuendos in that movie, even though it's a kid's movie. Like in one part, Tim Allen, when he has these red pajamas, he shouts at Charlie's mom, "I sleep naked, buck naked." And his mom and her daughter are walking by. He's like, "Hey, how you doing?"
Yeah, but honestly, sure, stay through the previews, and I hope, if they're gonna have that ad before the Santa Claus, I hope Toy Story had an ad for Philadelphia right before the movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well,
hey kids, you love Tom Hanks's Woody the cowboy doll? Well, here he is in a movie where he plays a gay man who has AIDS. Ah, I get it. Tom Hanks, that's the guy. Everything this guy says is gonna be a stitch. I have AIDS.
yeah, the VHS opening, if Sane was out on VHS. Hey kids, love Seth MacFarlane as the mouse? Watch everything he's ever done ever.
Hey kids, you like the Balthazar Brad from just the villain from Despicable Me 3. Well, here's Team America World Police.
But thanks again, Lowell, for coming on to the
Of
show.
course. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So do you have anything else to plug?
Well, you can follow me on TikTok at Lowell Renold 20. You can also subscribe to my YouTube channel. I believe it's Lowell Renold or Scrubman Lowell. And for those of you who live in the Orange County area, I am doing a 5-minute stand-up set at the Steady Brewing in Fountain Valley at 7:30 p.m., along with a bunch of other comics.
Okay. Well, next time it'll be the new year. Don't know quite yet what I'll do, but we'll see. And have a Merry Christmas, everyone. And
And
don't forget
don't forget.
to check out Everyone's a Critic later this year, where we cover another Christmas movie. And by that I mean La La Land. See you then.